on a big screen. We saw 1, 2, and 3 on a big screen, but we've never seen any of the rest of it.
I want to start, Andy, with you, because I don't know that I realized it watching on my TV multiple times I've watched it, just how close the camera was to you. So
I didn't realize how close it was. I only just realized how close it was. Wow. It's pretty up. I mean, I'm going to have to shave, really.
Well, okay, lots of shows are afraid to do speeches and monologues because it's the kind of thing where if you say, okay, this is going to be the big thing that's going to rouse everyone to action, and then it's anticlimactic or disappointing, you pretty much kill the show because it can't go anywhere. This is a show that loves its big speeches. I want to start with Andy and Fiona. When you see on your sheet, tomorrow's the day I do my 3-minute monologue, how does that change your process and you're looking forward to that day?
Fiona, hello. Do you want to go first?
It certainly changes your sleeping pattern. I was very pleased to speak. And I learned it going rugby. So I ran every day and learned it for weeks. So I was excited when it was the day.
And Andy?
I was, you know, the thing is, when it's a great speech, when it's written well, and when you really believe in the writing, and when you're working with great filmmakers, great directors, but also someone who clearly has written an inspiring series. I mean, and you get a page like that. You know, it doesn't, look, words don't come easily if they don't mean anything to you or you don't connect with them. And to have an arc of a character, I think, that had that at the end of it, someone who's finding himself because of the inspiration of, you know, truthfully engaging with someone who reminds him of who he is. It was just, it all felt very grounded and real, and it didn't feel like a speech. It felt like an in-the-moment kind of exploration of finding yourself, and I think that was you know, hopefully what was coming across. That's what I was thinking. So it was because I love the way that Tony wrote that beginning, which is, you know, he had to find the confidence. He did have a voice, he used to have a voice, but no longer had a voice, and then found it again. And that's something I think, again, it's an emotional thing that people can plug into. So, yeah, it's scary. It is scary, but I felt at least that it came out of a kind of a truth of the character.
And Andy, you at least had the opportunity to be doing this in front of a large group of people who you were supposed to be able to be inspiring. Were you able to look to the co-stars? I mean, Diego, obviously, but also all of the other actors to sort of know if you were getting it right at all? Could you see if you were inspiring people?
Well, actually, no, because you know, there was just the other guards there, and then and it was just us two in the room. So it was. Well, I mean, I was getting an enormous amount, of course, from Diego.
I was on my phone, yeah.
And Fiona, because yours was this, your big speech in the finale is this strange hologram situation, so was there anyone there with you at all? Who was giving you reinforcement?
I was alone. I was in the studio. There was nobody around because everybody had to hide so the hologram could do its thing, which is multiple cameras all around you. So every now and then, a god would speak to me through a microphone and I would repeat it or do what was necessary. So it was the most unusual thing I'd ever done in my life.
And Diego, at the point at which we meet Cassian in this series, he's not the guy who could make this big speech. He's not the rousing firebrand yet. How does that impact how you look at where the character is in this series versus the guy you played in Rogue One?
Well, that's the point, right? It's the guy that needs to listen, you know. It's the guy that needs to absorb and it's basically a beautiful also way to get to know all these characters, you know, because everyone that means something for this character will get to meet, right? So it's about witnessing, and it's about taking it in. It's for me also it's great because I don't speak English as good as Andy or Fiona, so gladly I didn't get to give the speeches. Otherwise, Nicolas Britell would have had to bring more and more strings or something to make it work. But no, it's interesting to see that because this series is a team that works together, you know, not just Tony but the editors, and there is a language that is different, which we spend a lot of time here seeing who listens. You know, it's not like TV where the camera is always with the person talking. You know, this speech we just saw. It's very inspiring. It's beautiful to see Andy, but it's also beautiful to see the reaction, you know? Beautiful to see the faces of all these people finding hope and realizing and understanding and moving forward. And this series is about that. It's about the reaction. It's about the people. It's about a revolution, you know?
And Tony, you have theater literally in your blood. You have a theatrical background that goes through your family. Do long speeches, do they come naturally to you, or do you, as a writer, or do you have to be refining a speech like that more than maybe anything else in a show like this?
They're not, I've done a lot of them. I did a lot of them, you know, I guess Devil's Advocate was probably a pretty big educational experience. There's a lot of, and I found writing for Satan was really easy. But I hate to take the piss out of it, but they're easy. They're not the hardest thing to do if you're feeling it. You know, if you're feeling it, they're not hard to do. There's many other things that are harder to write. If you get plugged into it, what's my hook? My hook on Fiona's speech is, she says, I'm trying to find my way into it. Well, the idea that you would be giving your own eulogy is already just the setting of it is fantastic, because you think, oh my God, it's just 3 or 4 days or a week beforehand. It's the last moment where she thought she was healthy enough to do this, and she made this. So all the things that we talked about, like what did she have to do and to get ready? So that's powerful. But for me, the hook was, what does she say? She says, I remember coming with my sister and holding my sister's hand all the way from Fountain Square. And so I have that, and then when I have that, then I'm plugged in. I'm like, oh, okay, I know what this is now. I do always, it's very personal, the speech for me, because I'm very critical of public speaking. I'm very into it. Eulogies and wedding speeches and stuff. I always like when people really nail it. And I really want to be lifted. I always want to be inspired. I'm always disappointed when I'm not. So there's a lot of me in that. No, there's a lot, so I'm plugged in. And Andy's speech, the hook for me there is the line that kind of got me plugged in was when he said, if you see somebody who's hurt, if you see somebody who's wounded, if you see somebody who's confused, help them out. And like in most prison stories, people are against each other. The prisoners are against each other. Our show is so much about community, you know, and the disruption of community. And then I'm emotional. That still breaks my heart when I say it right now. It makes me, I feel it. So those are like my little talismans. And then it's not like they write themselves, but they're not as hard as bringing 7 people into a room that you never met who are disagreeing about something, and you got to tell a plot point. That's hard to do.
But given that perfectionist streak in you, are you able to watch, I mean, you just obviously watched it, but how much are you able to watch these speeches without something just getting into your gut and wanting to rewrite everything constantly?
Well, when I was a writer and I was working for other people, that was just, that was life. That was life. I'm in control now. I have to stand behind everything that's here. I'm in charge. I don't feel that. No.
You would have to go edit again, do the whole thing. It's just
That's what I worked for.
we started
didn't make a speech when we wrapped now.
So this show